Hello crafty friends, this is the Papered Chef here. In today's Brother ScanNCut tips and tricks tutorial, you will learn how to cut out patterned paper using your SDX125. We are going to be using color recognition mode, which is something we don't need to use very often, but for this paper, we do. All right, let's get started. I'm just going to tell you where the paper is from, and then as it's cutting, as the paper is cutting out, I'm going to show you what this whole stack looks like because I like to just jump right into it. But it is Stampin Up. It's part of our holiday catalog, and it is called the Night Before Christmas Suite. Okay, so it's a pack of 48 papers, designer series papers. Here's what they look like. And you get 24 different designs, and there's 48 papers. All right, so we'll show you more of the papers in a little bit, but I need to just get out the hats. We're going to do the hats first. Christmas hats. All right, here we go. So when I tried to do Christmas hats, I thought for sure that the black and white recognition mode would work because after all, this paper has a lot of contrast between the foreground and the background, right? There's pretty peacock back there, and there's a nice well-defined line. So normally black and white recognition mode works, but this time it just didn't. So I thought, why not show my crafty friends how I was able to cut these out perfectly and what I was able to do with them as well. So all I'm doing is attaching this designer series paper to the mat. We're not going to cut out every hat, but I did cut out successfully a whole sheet of these, and I'll show you the sheet, the reverse of the sheet I cut out so you can see. So now it is in the upper right corner. Why? That is a better spot for me. My machine has more stickiness on the upper right corner than the left corner because I don't use it as much. So when you turn, and I've already loaded the mat as well. So to load the mat, you would just use this button here. So now you're going to turn on your machine and start from scratch. Say you bought this pack of paper from my store, which I'll have a link to this awesome paper called the Night Before Christmas paper. Say you buy it and you get it, and now you put it on your mat and you turn on your machine. You're like, now what? You have to go to scan. So when you turn on your machine, you're going to see pattern and scan. You go to scan. We're directly cutting out these Santa hats. Okay, so you're going to say direct cut. Okay, and now you're going to, this is just asking you where to store the information. You're going to say on your machine. Now here's where I had to use the color recognition mode. So let's talk about that. First I tried black and white recognition mode. No go. The only thing recognized were the bottom of my hats. The bottom, like the little white parts. So I tried again and I used color and it worked great. So that's what I'm doing and that's what I'm showing you. And then we'll do it once more with another sheet of paper so you really get the concept. The scan area is how much of the mat you want to scan. Right now it's set to 12 by 6, which is fine because all these papers are only 6 inches tall. So you don't want to waste time doing a 12 by 12 scan when your paper is only 6 inches tall. It just saves you time. So pick 12 by 6 inch scan and say okay, and we're going to say start. So now it's going to scan in the sheet of Santa hats and recognize those. Okay, now the next it's asking you to frame the image. Okay, so I'm framing this just to show you how well it worked, and then I'm going to just make it smaller in a minute. So let's frame the whole image just to show you. So say okay, and it's recognizing. So in other words, it doesn't need, the left side of the mat didn't have anything on it. So I framed the part where the paper was. It just saves time. Now you see what I mean? Look how great that, look at that success rate. Look at that, all those hats, all those black lines you see. I'm gonna zoom in some more. You really get to see that and scroll down. I want you to see that almost every hat was recognized. I'm gonna go over to the right here. That's what the black lines are, okay? So great job on that, but we're not gonna make you wait for every hat to cut out because you'll get the idea. But let's pick a few hats. You see how there's different styles of hats? This is important when you're designing your cards because you have this style where it's a short hat to the right, you have a tall hat to the left, tall hat to the right, and short hat to the left. So you want we'll get 4 different kinds of hats. That's important because sometimes like you're using the hats to cover up something else on your design or you want them to go a certain way. Okay, so let's go back again. And what I'm doing is I'm just framing, we just need a few hats. In fact, we only need a couple hats, but just to give you an idea. So now I'm just framing a few hats. Okay, so we're going to say okay. Now I really like how they're sitting on a pretty peacock background. So now we just have 3 or 4 that got recognized. I like that. They're sitting on a nice dark background. So I want to say okay and make an outline distance around them. So I'm going to say 0.04 outline distance. Okay, and now I don't know if I need to ignore any objects, but let's say okay and see what happened. Yeah, I do need to go back, and it looks like there's extra little balls, not the hats themselves, but extra little balls from other hats, because when I made the rectangle, extra little balls got in there. Extra little pom-poms at the top of the hat. So let's go up, let's go back. Now we have to go to edit. I'm sorry, not edit, go back. Ignore object size. Okay, we're going to ignore object size and go up to maybe, I don't know. The hats themselves are like a 1/2 inch. So let's say about that big. We don't want to ignore the hats themselves. We just want to ignore the little Christmas balls. I mean the little pom-poms. Now we make sure the outline distance, see, when you went to go to ignore object size, the outline distance disappeared. I always make sure my outline distance is set again, you know, before I go to cut something. So I want a 0.04 outline distance. Because when you do any kind of editing, it seems like the outline distance disappeared. This is exactly what I want. I want 4 hats to cut out. Oh, it's saying now to select. So what do we want to select? We want to select cut. It's asking, do you want to cut? Do you want to draw? No, we want to cut. Say cut and say start. Okay, I'm not going to edit this video. I'm just going to keep letting it roll. And we're just going to wait for those to cut out, because it takes less than a minute. It's really going to be quick. The SDX125 uses auto blade technology. It senses how deep the paper is and just knows what to do. But if you're cutting designer series paper with the CM350, check out loads of my tutorials on how to cut out designer series paper with that model. And if you're just trying to use this paper here and you're using designer series paper with another model of ScanNCut and where you have to set the blade depth, set it to a blade depth of 3. All right, so now let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and unload the mat and show you this, show you how to get the hats off the mat. Then we will do another piece of paper, and then I'm going to show you the papers themselves as well. Okay, so let's peel. So first peel the designer series paper away. And I told you I'd show you how I did this earlier and how that came out. So let me get that sheet to show you. It's stuck in a big pile. So what I did is I framed it so that I didn't need to cut out the partial hats. I framed the image to cut out the middle, and I had 100% success rate of cutting out those hats in the paper like that. Okay, so now what I want to do is just show you how to get these off the mat. So if your mat's pretty sticky, just bend them out a little bit. Get your spatula under there, see? You don't want to rip the little hats. Okay, so you want to bend the mat to get them off. You can get your finger under there too. So far so good. We have nice embellishments to use for projects. And of course, I always show, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, but also know that there's always something at the end of my video. Like the projects I created with what I'm showing you, I don't just show you how to cut out stamped images, how to cut out pattern paper. I show you what to do with it. I give you examples. And then I even tell you all the products I used in case you want to repeat the projects. All right, so now let's move those to the sides. We have a few hats. And while the next set is cutting, I'm going to show you this paper. But let's do this. Let's use this one. We're going to use the presents. Okay, and we're going to put that on the mat. Same thing. I first always try to use black and white recognition mode. I'm laying this down and loading my mat. I always try to use black and white recognition mode first because that usually works for me 99% of the time. But with this paper, it didn't. So I used color recognition mode. So now we're going to do it a little faster because you already know the steps, but we're going to ignore object size again because we don't want all these presents. So first of all, if you missed how I loaded the mat, and if you're new here to the ScanNCut, so you would use this button to load the mat, okay? Once it's loaded, go to home screen. When you want to scan something new, go to home screen. Delete all patterns, yes. We're going to go back to scan again, direct cut, save it to the machine, color recognition mode, again, it's already on there, scan 12 by 6 area, and say start. Okay, we don't want to wait for all these presents to cut, but I do want to show you a couple things about this because they're going to recognize just parts of the present, and I want to show you how to edit those out. So let's say, okay, I framed in just a few presents. Okay, now look what happened. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you. Let me zoom in and show you. See how part of this present was selected, part of this present, part of this present. So we have a few good presents, 5 of those, but we also have partial presents. The last thing I want to do is cut out partial presents when I'm trying to use this paper later. So you can say ignore object size, and that helps a little bit. It helps get rid of the little tiny bits. Okay, let's ignore object size, that's fine. Say okay. And it got rid of a lot of little bits, but it didn't get rid of these big bits. If I were to ignore objects that were too large, you actually ignore the very thing you're trying to cut out. So we need to do this. We need to go ahead and do our outline distance. Okay, we're going to keep the outline distance of 0.04. But now we're going to go into edit. And we're going to trash. See the little trash can and see how that little partial present is selected? Let me zoom in and show you. We don't want a partial present. We want to trash that or delete it. So I'm going to say okay. And we're just going to make sure it's selected and hit the trash can. And there's partial present again, trash can. You can toggle between anything that's on the screen by using this. This is your toggling your selection. Okay, all of these things I want to delete. They're partial, not that one. Trash. Oops. Go back up there. Trash. Okay, and it's just the way I framed it. I didn't get the ones at the top, or I got partial. Now I'm good. Now I have 5 good presents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I say okay. I make sure my object's outline distance is still set, and it is. Sometimes it stays set, but if I go back and do anything with ignore object size, this doesn't stay set, my outline distance. But if I go into editing mode, it does stay set. So we're good with that. We're going to just go ahead and press cut. So that was a review. I did it faster the second time. And we're going to say start, and I'm going to move the machine forward, say start, and then I'm going to show you the papers in the stack. So you have 24 different designs. So you get 4 of each sheet of paper, but because they're double-sided, so you get like 12 different kinds of sheets, but they're double-sided, so you really get 24 different designs. Okay, so coordinating colors are cherry cobbler, crumb cake, crushed curry, early espresso, mossy meadow, night of navy, old olive, poppy parade, and pretty peacock. And here's what we got. And you know, crafty friends, that I'll be trying to cut out more than just presents and Santa hats, because I just got this. Look at this one. This is perfect for the ScanNCut. This pack of paper is a dream for ScanNCut users. I mean, not only can you cut out your card backgrounds out of it, look at this one. This one's going to be great to cut out. The candy canes and the coffee cups. You know I'm going to be trying to cut all these out. Why do I have 2 of those? I don't know. Okay, maybe I just showed you extras. Okay, but these are all the different designs. And then, of course, on the ones that we're cutting out, the Santa hats and the presents, there's another design on the back of those. So that was the design on the back of this one, the Santa hat paper. And then this is the design on the back of the present paper that I just yanked off the mat. Okay, so let's pull the presents off the mat. I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and unload the mat. You saw the unload button. I'm not going to move my machine closer. I just say unload okay. Just in the interest of now I want to show you my projects. I don't want to keep moving my machine around. It makes my camera all shaky. All right, so let's put the little spatula under. Well, first you bend your mat, right? Get them up there a little bit. And then after you bend your mat, pop them off. Pop them off. Okay, just use your spatula or pop them off, depending on how sticky your mat is. So there they are. Nice cherry cobbler's outlines around these. Nice pretty peacock outlines around those. Okay, let me show you the sheet I did earlier and show you some projects I made and coordinating projects. Okay, so let's And I have a few things to show you here. I have a lot of things to show you. So first, I was just going to tell you that earlier I cut out most of the presents on one sheet. They did cut out successfully. I didn't frame this side of the image, but the ones I framed cut out perfectly. Okay, I'm just putting a piece of old olive in the screen here just so my camera has something to balance. It needs something for my color balance. So here, we're putting these on an old olive background. Old olive is one of the coordinating colors, as is Mossy Meadow. All right, now you have the night before Christmas, and you have these really cool, meaning Stampin' Up. And I know you guys like Stampin' Up products, most of my viewers, okay, and a lot of my viewers. Night before Christmas, Memories and More cards and envelopes. Like I said, I bought 3 things in this suite. I didn't even get the stamp set, and I'm having a ball just with this. So these are beautiful envelopes, huge, okay, with beautiful, like they're really strong and they're nice. And then this, so that came with, oh, and the cards. Okay, so that's my project I made out of it, and the cards. So this is Cherry Cobbler. Beautiful stars on the card. Okay, let me just fold a card. It is, by the way, World Card Making Day, Saturday, well, tomorrow. Okay, so we are, well, maybe it is World Card Making Day by the time I show you this. There you go. So I want to just show you, how I make some of these cards and feature some other things like that. Okay, so if you want to make anything and post it on my Facebook page, The Papered Chef, you'll win a prize this week if you make some cards and send out the cards. Okay, so there we go. That's all you got to do. That's it. Memories and More cards and envelopes. Now, we have this Memories and More package. Instant cards. Boom. You use these things. You use these little, these things. I guess they're here. They're double-sided, so I don't need to show them all to you. Ho, ho, ho. You got Santa. Look, we could cut him out with the ScanNCut. So what these are called Memories and More. Oh, gosh, I already forgot the name. Memories and More cards. Okay, so these have little things on them. So that's just wanted to give you some background on how I made this project. Okay, and there's little things like this, and they're double-sided. And I already told you the coordinating colors. So instant cards. So you can take one of these cards. This is from the regular annual catalog. It's called Memories and More Whisper White cards and envelopes. And you can just fold a card. Boom. Like this. I just want to show you how easy it is to make a card when you have these kind of things. Okay, I used a little spatula. Sorry, I just need to know what these are called. I'm going to be putting a link in the description, but still. And I should have had this marked off in the catalog. I hate to waste the viewer's time. Well, it is called The Night Before Christmas. Here we go. Night Before Christmas. These are the little package here. Night Before Christmas Memories and More card pack. Okay? Night Before Christmas Memories and More cards and envelopes. So these are the 3 products I'm using. Bada bing, bada bing. Most of you, if you've got a catalog in the mail from me, my customers, you can look on page 25. See what I'm using. All right, there. So now this is from the annual catalog. This is just a Memories and More card. And then you stick instantly, you can make a card. You just stick one of these really cool little backgrounds on the card. Let's see if that would work. Holly. I'm just going to grab a few to see what will work best with my little cow that I'm about to show you. All right, here we go. I think that I always just kind of make up my designs along the fly, on the fly. Here we go. Here's a few different choices we have for papers. So I'm going to take my cows. I just colored my cows. Okay, and they're already, I can't believe I buried them already. Poor little cows. Here we go, here we go. And I discovered, wait till you see all the things I discovered. I discovered that my little cows that I've been making and coloring are perfect with a Santa hat on. They fit perfectly. Okay, so, sorry I'm getting a low battery message. I have to close that so I can see what you can see, and hopefully my camera lasts. All right, so let's put this together. We're going to put a cow on a card. So let's put this cow on here and see how he looks. Too much with the holly. Maybe like that. I think I like him on the red background. Even though this is very vanilla. Maybe this background. Here we go. Too much red if otherwise. This is, even though a coordinating color is very vanilla, I can still put the cow. I can still put the very vanilla, even though there's very vanilla accents on a Whisper White note card. I'm just putting some adhesive on here. Because you can do that because vanilla and Whisper White coordinate together. So even though there's swirls of very vanilla inside here, it's on a Whisper White card. These are strong Whisper White cards. Boom, stick the cow on there. Some presents. Couple presents. And bada bing, we got a card instantly. Here, look, the little contrast maybe. Some pretty peacock. If a present gets cut off a little, just hide it with another present. Like stick another smaller present next to it. Like that. And then stick a different color over there. Okay, so there we have an instant card, and then we put a little Santa hat on him. So here we go. I just wanted to show you that. Now, this little card pack came with stickers, and that's where I got my sentiments for the projects I'm about to show you. So here we go. I created cow cards. And for this card I used, let's show you the cow card. I used a sticker that said warmest wishes from that Memories and More card pack. I used the little gifts we just cut out. And this little, if you cut a little piece of this guy off, here's a little cow. And by the way, I showed you how to cut out cows in my tutorials here on YouTube. So please be sure to check out how to cut out stamped images using your ScanNCut. You need to cut off a piece of the flower, and then the present can be hidden. It can hide this flower. So that's this is this cow. And now he's a Christmas cow. He went from a summer cow, or a bull, I guess a bull, right? To giving a little present to his honey. Okay, so that's my card project, and I just used this background paper. The same paper we cut out, I cut it to a card. I used Pretty Peacock card base because that was one of the coordinating colors. Okay, next project. I've already showed you what I'm using for the projects, and this is this one. Okay, so what I did is I told you your hats can help you hide things on your cards. Well, this was a little tag. This was shaped as a tag, and I used the hat to hide the front of the tag. So now I have Merry Christmas. I have a bunch of holly stickers. I have these little presents we just cut out with the ScanNCut, and this little moon comes from this stamp set. By the way, the stamp set's called Over the Moon. I'm going to have a link to all the things I used in the description. All right, my camera is very low on battery, but I had something to tell you. If you're a Stampin' Up user like me and you love Stampin' Up products, these little Santa hats will fit on lots of things. Check it out. Party pandas, if you have party pandas from the celebration a couple years ago. This was one of those free sets. Every January we have a celebration. Look at that. Look at him, will fit on the turtle. From this one, back on your feet. He'll fit on the little dog from Happy Tales. And of course he's going to fit on my favorite stamp set of all time, Little Piggy. So I'll be doing more with these little Santa hats, I'm sure. So thank you for watching. This is the Papered Chef, and I hope you subscribe to my channel if you're new here. And happy World Card Making Day. Thank you.